Hey y'all. So I am back with another video. Listen, if you love hearing stories about how God came through, comes through, and is always on time, then you want to make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay. So I have a story time, or more of like a testimony, more so ongoing, if anything. But I want to talk to y'all and share my story of basically last year in June, God told me to quit my job. So let's get right into it. So let's start at the beginning. Because if you're anything like me, you love watching this type of content. You love hearing people tell their stories or their testimony about, how God told them to quit their job. I literally sit on YouTube and just watch this type of content all day. But for me, I was in the customer service field at my most recent job. Well, really, yeah, really a lot of my jobs have been in the customer service industry. But that last one though, I worked for this call center, and let me just tell y'all, okay, I was tried at that call center. Tried. I mean, like, tried by people who should have known better. Customer service, no matter what industry is in, whether you in hospitality, whether you are in customer service, whether you do hair, whatever it is, it can be a trying position. But I was working for a bank. Well, I was working at a call center that focused on helping banks. And so at different times we had like contracts. So for a few months you could be working for like Wells Fargo, and then another few months you could be working for another bank, and then another few months you would change banks. And that's really what I liked about that job the most, because I am not the type of person that wants to be doing the same thing every single day. So I like the fact that I got a little bit of variety every few months in my position. But no matter the bank, the people were all the same, and the people were very rude. And I remember just like crying to God almost daily, like, God, I need to be released. I wasn't going to just quit. I had already told myself, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to stay planted until God tells me to leave. But I hated that job. I was thankful for the job. I was thankful for the paycheck. Um, Yeah, because I sure didn't realize how much that paycheck really helped out with my household until God told me to leave. Okay. But while I had the job, I was absolutely grateful for the job. I was grateful for the opportunity to work, to make the money. But I hated the work. I hated the work because the people were draining. Um, and not really it wasn't my coworkers, it wasn't even my supervisors, it was just the customers in itself. Um, and that's who you deal with pretty much when you work a call center job. And especially because I was doing this remote working from home. So I really didn't deal with anyone else except these customers day in and day out. And I can remember like just talking to God, praying every single day, y'all. I remember at one point, your girl had tears. Okay, I was just like crying out to God, just praying and just like, God, I'm gonna stay until you tell me to leave, but I'm ready to go. If you want my opinion on it, God, if you want to hear what I got to say, I'm ready to go. Um, but I can remember this one time I was walking around my neighborhood, and during this walk, I was just thinking about my situation. I had just got out of a relationship. I was thinking about how bad I hated this job. Like, my life just felt like it was going downhill at the time. And so I remember praying to God, and I said something in that prayer, which is what I feel like really turned God's ears to hear me. Because I remember in this prayer, I'm trying to remember what I said exactly. Because I was like walking out in public, so I won't cry, but I was really frustrated. I'm like, God, they said you supposed, like, God, they call you, they say that you are our husband or something like that. But I don't know a husband that would let his wife continue to work a job knowing that she hates it. Something like that. And I was like, God, I hate this job. Like, I just pure tea hate this job. I'm ready to go, but I won't go until you tell me. So I say that prayer, out of my frustration, out of my disdain for that job and that company. And we could talk about that company too, because that company is definitely shady. Okay, so anyway, so I remember, I think a couple of days after that prayer, I think I was in a much better place emotionally, where, even though I did like the job, I wasn't complaining about it as much, because I also had started fasting more, and was learning about contentment. And that Bible study I did on contentment really helped me to learn, okay, I can be content with what I have while still praying to God for more, So I learned pretty much I had to stop complaining, had to start, just watching my words around my job situation. Okay, so y'all, I'm going to get to pray. So I think, like, was it during that fast, or was it a little bit after? Either way, I can remember just being in my prayer closet talking to God, and I remember him saying to me, it's time for you to quit your job before they let you go. And I'm like, before they let me go? It's like, they gonna let me go? What you talking about? Right? But I was like, but I can leave? I can leave the job now, though. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna hold you, right? You would have thought I would have been doing cartwheels. I would have been flipping around the place. I would have threw a party or whatever. No, your girl was scared. I was like, wait a minute. This came too fast. I was like, wait a minute, God. Wait a minute. You sure, God, that's you? Like, I had to make sure. So I remember, I was like, okay, God. So me and my mama have a good relationship, right? So I said, God, I want to make sure this is you. So I'm going to pray over the situation. I cast it down, every thought about leaving, until I got confirmation from God that it was actually him telling me to leave. And I also said to God, God, if this is really you, then when I tell my mama, don't let her, let her be on board with it, pretty much. Because in times past, y'all, I could be making a joke about leaving my job, and my mama would flip. She would flip, you this old, and you don't need to be leaving a job unless you got another one, and parents. And so I was like, okay, God, if that's really you telling me to leave, then when I tell her, let her be on board with it. I prayed a prayer. I think I fasted, waited about 3 days. That God told me on a Monday. By Friday, me and my mama was watching movies together. And while the show was like on a little commercial, whatever, we was just talking, and I said, oh yeah, God told me to quit my job. And just kept talking, and I paused. Like, what's she gonna say? And she just said, okay. I was like, okay. Homegirl used to flip. So I was like, okay, I might really be moving with God this time. Like, I might really be, your girl might have really heard the Lord. Okay, so I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, so let's go. So I go, and the next day I'm pretty much like, I put in my 2-week notice into my job. I put in my 2 weeks notice in my job. I did not work the full 2 weeks because the job was definitely shady. Y'all, they like, I can talk about it now because I'm not like as angry. Like, God definitely helped me. And yeah, okay. But when I quit the job, y'all, they decreased my pay. When I put in my 2 weeks notice, they decreased my pay. And they was pretty much like, we legally can do that. And I was like, what? Even though I was working in a call center, y'all, I was not a contractor. I was a full-time employee. So I was like, what? That's not, y'all can't do that. But anyway, that situation, God is definitely going to give me trouble, double for my trouble for dealing with them. And I dealt with them with grace, kindness, okay? Because, okay. But anyways, after I quit my job in 2024, and I was finished with the call center, God took me on a journey of learning how to pretty much how to trust him and how to depend on him in every area of my life. Because I am still currently without a job, but I have seen God move. I have heard from God more than I have ever heard from him. I have a deeper understanding of God and God's ways. And I don't know, I'm excited for what 2025 is going to bring. I'm excited for what he's calling me into next because I got some instructions on what I'm supposed to do for the year. And so I'm excited. Last year, he really made me really study the Bible last year and become a student. And I really had to learn who God is, how God works, why God does certain things for certain people. Because I'm gonna make another video about that, about what I've learned in 2024, because I don't want to make this video too long. But that one could probably go. That one, yeah, we could probably talk a bit about what I've learned in 2024 about God and God's ways and his patterns. But as for this one, y'all, I'm gonna really go ahead and cut this short. But I'm excited for 2025. I'm excited for this, y'all. And I just can't wait to see what God does on this journey. Yeah, so stay tuned for more content like this. I'm going to be making more faith-based content, teaching, well, not really teaching, but showing you guys how I'm pretty much living this life by faith. Unemployed Christian, living by faith, and just doing whatever it is that God is telling me to do. I also have a business. Okay, so I'm going to also be working on that as well this year. He gave me a business idea, and that is going to be another video topic that we're going to talk about, because okay, I don't want to spoil it. Okay, so this is, see you later. See you on the next video, y'all. Bye.